All right, and we are live. Good morning, everybody. If you're watching us, let us know where you are watching from. I know it's super early in the United States. I have the amazing Ginia Bishop with me. I'm just trying to find our video, and she's from the East Coast, and
Yes.
in the United States, and it is early. It is early. So, Ginia, tell us a little bit about where you are from, whilst I look for our video so I can share it in the group.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Melissa, for having me. I don't know if you all know, but she does the best introductions. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of the conversation this morning. As Melissa stated, I am from the United States, and I love how God just allow our paths to cross at the right time, at his divine time. So it is super early. I am here in Maryland, and right now it is 5:11 a.m. But we
Wow,
do what we have to do.
we sure do.
Yes, for ministry, for parenting, for life. And I'm just honored to be here.
Yeah, that's so cool. Um, Thanks, Ginia. And that's something I have to say about you. You have a full life. You have a family. You have 4 kids. It's
Yes.
4, right? And then Khalil is like
Yes.
youngest. He is a little busybody, but so awesome. And I honestly don't know how you do it. I just don't know.
Look, it's a cliche to say it's by the grace of God. It truly, truly is. And I'm grateful that some way or another, he gives me the energy or the strength to continue to show up, no matter how full my plate is.
That's good. That's good. So I just apologize. I'm trying to find the right place to send it to, but you know what? I'm not going to get distracted by this. We can do that later. All right. So, Ginia has truly been remarkable in the way that she has taken her call to write and trusted God in the process with bringing her message into the world. When I met Ginia, she had ideas. She kind of knew that God was calling her to write and publish a book, but she wasn't quite sure what that book was going to be about, where to start. And today she has grew her audience by 1,600 people who are connected to her. And she's now running a live group as well. So, Ginia, I know your message has really been about helping hearts heal from the trauma of the past and really giving people the opportunity and the community to connect and heal in a safe place. So tell me a little bit about that moment when you knew you had something, you wanted to share your story. What was that like for you?
So I'm going back here. I'm thinking back to college. And probably like many college students, we come in there with lofty dreams and ideas. And I just remember going to my admissions counselor, like, hey, I want to write a book. And so I don't even remember. I wish I could pinpoint that exact moment. But I remember for so long, I had a title, it was Grace to Start Over. And I even had chapter outlines. And I carried that piece of paper around with me for a long time, and I didn't know what to do with it. So for years, I like to journal anyway because I'm a writer.
Yeah.
So I would journal personally, but I didn't know what to do with this book. I just knew from past experiences at church and with ministry, people would pray. They would say, hey, you're a writer, keep a notebook by your bed. So they prayed and prophesied that these things would happen. I just didn't know how. And so for a long time, I walked around with that chapter outline and the title, and I knew one day a book would come, but I had no idea what that process was going to look like.
Awesome. And so we started working together, and we started to unpack your message and published Grace to Start Over. When was that again? That was a while ago. When was
Yes,
the publishing date for Grace to Start Over?
that was the new year, January 2024.
Wow. Okay. And then we started working together on a collaboration book with some other authors. Now, I just want to speak to the viewers. If you are here, if you are listening, I want to tell you that Ginia and I, our journeys have been a little bit different. We started with writing and publishing our books. But I think if I could do anything different, I really would focus on starting to grow my audience before I publish my book. And this is kind of one of the things we learned on our journeys as authors, is that the reader is really important. It's really important that we start to build a community around us before we step into that publishing place. Now, it's not to say if you've published your book, you can't do that, right? But the good news for those who are listening, and if you are sitting here with a desire to write and share your story, to share your message, you know God has called you to be a messenger, to be someone who brings the good news to the poor, right? To bind up broken hearts, to declare freedom to those who are stuck in prison. If that's you today, I want to just tell you there is such a better way to start building your audience, to make connection to the people who need your message. And you don't have to write an entire book. You can do it with one chapter. You can start building that audience with one chapter. And then while you write your book, you can then grow that community so that by the time you publish, you have an audience that's ready to receive that book. It's such a more fruitful way of doing things than starting with the book, right? So then we worked together on Paper Crowns Volume 1. Okay, so tell me a little bit about your chapter in Paper Crowns and what that did for you as you wrote and published your chapter in that anthology.
Yeah, so my first book, Race to Start Over, journeys my own my healing process. So I take the women primarily, sometimes a man will pick up the book, but primarily for women, they'll pick up the book and I'm journeying, along with them on this healing process and just explaining, some of the childhood adversities that I experienced and how they impacted me as a young woman and how God began to bring healing. And so I was super excited to be a part of Paper Crowns Volume 1. And I think it just brought another level of confidence and skill as a newly published author. In that chapter, my title is El Roi, the God who sees us. And I talk about, I pull out one of the most difficult moments for me, which was identifying childhood sexual abuse and then healing from that process. But before the healing, you have to expose it. And I talk about what that exposure did, not only for my mental and emotional well-being, but also for my marriage and my family. It really was an unexpected storm or hurricane, if you will, that just caused destruction. And I probably, like many of the readers, were searching for hope and searching for God and searching for help. And so I get to share that story in Paper Crowns Volume 1. And I love what you said, Melisa, that you don't have to start with a whole book. I was able to just take that one experience, share with the readers what I've learned, what I've gained, how I've grown, how the Lord has helped me. And by doing that, you really gave me a platform to reach women across the world. So whereas Grace to Start Over was selling with family and friends and those in my immediate sphere of influence, my job and so forth, Paper Crowns really gave me an international platform. And so with that book and through building the email community that you were talking about, like you said at the beginning of this session, I'm able to reach 1,600 women each week. And
Yeah.
so each week I'm sending out prayers for them. Each week I try to send out a teaching for them, but I'm really building connection. And so there's a small group of women from that email list that we actually email back and forth. And I email them with my famous, "Hey sis,"
Yes. Yes.
and they're responding. And so
Mhm.
it's just beautiful to see. The Bible calls us to go into the world, right? To make disciples, like you said, to
Mhm.
share the good news. And I get to do that through partnering with you just on that one chapter. And it blows my mind.
I love that. I love that. My go-to verse for this ministry, this business, Paper Crown Media, is Isaiah 61:1, where it says, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon you, for he has anointed you to bring good news to the poor." And I believe that we all have good news. We are
Yeah.
all a unique expression of the Father's heart for his people. And we all have a poor, we all have a community that needs that light that is in us. So I just think it's so marvelous, Ginia, that you are out there shining your big bright light for these women so they can find hope, they can find healing. And that is the reason why we do what we do. I know so many authors get upset because they share their story and it doesn't reach beyond friends and family, right?
Right.
It just
Mhm.
it's really difficult to build that platform to establish that community around you because people don't know you. So, writing that chapter and sharing a part of your story that's relevant to your reader, that's
Yes.
really going to tell them, I see you, I know how you feel, but I have learned something really valuable. And here's what you can do to find that same hope, to step into healing, to step into freedom. That gives them an opportunity to meet you, to get to know your heart, to see
Yeah.
your heart, that you really have something. You're not just here to share your story, right? It's not just about sharing your story. It's about really helping someone, because there's so much information out there. People are not in a deficit when it comes to information. Like, we can access information all the time. What people are looking for is transformation. They want their
Yes.
circumstances to change. They want their hearts to change. They want their minds transformed. So, producing something that's really going to do that for them, that's the goal with these chapters. We want to give them something that's going to get them activated and moving forward and experiencing God for themselves, because that's where true change comes in. It's experiencing the love of God. And yeah, that's why I just think your chapter is so powerful. I'm going to drop a link in the comments as soon as we come finish the live, so people can download that chapter, and it'll connect you with Ginia and her ministry as well. And then we took that chapter and we connected it to the YouVersion Bible app. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and your experience with using YouVersion? Because I know you've got loads of Bible reading plans. And again, I'll drop your link for YouVersion in the chat afterwards, because you've got loads of plans on there. Tell us a little bit more about your experience with YouVersion.
Yes. So, as an author of with Paper Crowns Volume 1, that was a part of our marketing or publishing package, where it's not only just publishing your chapter, which is powerful enough. Melissa really does set you up to be successful. And so we created a website, and we also created an account with YouVersion, which is on the Bible app, which many millions of people have literally at the fingertips. And so initially, I only started the Bible reading plans just for that one chapter, the God who sees me, Elroy, the God who sees me. And I didn't realize what a wealth of treasure lied in the Bible app. And so Melissa would say, "Hey, are you using the app? What's going on? These are the things that are available." And I kind of like pushed it off for a while, if I'm being honest. But there was one conversation that Melissa and I had, and I was like, "You know what? You're absolutely right. I should steward this well." And so that's what I began to do. And I published another plan, "When Healing is Hard." And then from there was another plan. And it was exciting to see not only the expansive reach, that you have with YouVersion and your Bible reading plans. It shows you how many people you reach across the continent. So globally, again, it's so much bigger than us, right? It shows you how many people subscribe to your plan, how many are downloading, how many are finishing your plan. But more importantly than that, I am giving women a tool that they can use or support or encouragement on their journeys that's readily available on their phones.
Yeah.
So I love it because we're not able to travel everywhere, right? At once. I wish we could. I wish there were multiple versions of us, but with YouVersion, I can put out something short and sweet and practical. And that has been impactful in ways that I've never imagined. So there are women who are downloading free resources that I have on my website. Again, women who have read the Bible reading plans and now they're connected with me on Facebook and we get to have real life interaction. Women who were on the Bible reading plan who are now a part of my class, Grace to Stay, which is a 90-day course that are walking women through the journey of inner healing. And so all of that happened primarily once I started stewarding or really focusing on the Bible reading app and growing that community and giving something of meaning and value.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That YouVersion app is an absolute gift. It connects you with the people who are already looking for hope. They're looking for Christian content that's really going to help them, whichever area that is, whether that's in marriage, whether that's in healing from trauma. So being really specific with who you are trying to connect with, again, is going to be so crucial or so important to know exactly what is my core message? What is it that I am anointed with to carry in God's kingdom? And then secondly, what is my calling? Who is this for, right? Who does God want to reach through this message? And how can I help them? What problem am I solving for them? So yeah, it is an amazing tool. It's one that I use myself.
Right. Can I say, it reminds me of the story in the Bible where Jesus went to his hometown and the Bible talks about how he couldn't perform miracles there because the people didn't believe, right? They were so familiar with him. They only saw him in one light and it restricted or limited what he was able to do. And he's Jesus. And I think about that for our own life. Sometimes that as authors, we maybe expect for our family and friends to follow us, for them to hop on this journey with us. And what I'm finding is that may not always be the case. So while they love us and support us, the message that I am called to write and to steward may not be for them. It might be for the women, in a different state, in a different country even.
Yes.
And so I love that the Bible app gives you that platform of people who are hungry, people who are searching. And it's a divine connection, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And now you are growing, your ministry is growing, your email list is growing. You've started this online community and you've just launched a course based on your beautiful book, Grace for Your Marriage.
Yes.
Newly published by Paper Crown Publishing. We are so proud to partner with Ginia as she shares her message. This is an incredible book. It's super practical. Lots of actionable things that you can do, practical things that you can apply to find that grace, that healing within your marriage. I mean, we don't have time to go into your story, but Ginia has such a powerful testimony of walking out this healing process in our own marriage. So Ginia, just talk to me a little bit about your experience now that you're a second time author. Well, this is the third one if you don't count the chapters. But you've got Grace to start over and then Grace for Your Marriage. So this second book, tell me a little bit about what that experience was for you now that you've gone through publishing a book, you've gone through publishing a chapter. What was publishing your second book like?
Okay, so audience, bear with me. I think about naturally, and it's early, so go with me. We're going to have some fun right now. Naturally, when you give birth, sometimes, the more children you have, the easier the process becomes. And I'm one of 9 children, okay? And I remember my mom going into labor and me and my older sister just excited for our baby sister to come. So we went to the lobby and they were supposed to get us at the time of delivery. Well, the time we got back to the room, the baby was already here.
Oh my goodness. That's
She was
very
already
easy.
Yes. So not all the time, but most times. And I think the same is true spiritually and just with this publishing process. You know, that first time I carried that title and chapter outline for years without knowing what the story was. And then you came along and we worked together and really gave clarity and shape and form to that book. With Grace for Your Marriage, it took less than a year to write the book, to gain the clarity, to have the framework that I wanted to use to be able to reach couples who were hurting. And so I share that to say it does get easier.
Yes.
And I felt confident, I felt equipped, I felt empowered to write this book because now I'm understanding that my story does matter, that my words do make a difference, and that there is someone out there who is waiting, as you said, for that glimmer of hope and healing for their situation. So it was it's an exciting process. It was a quick process for me. It was a devotional story, so that also helped with, you know, just how fast we were able to turn it around. But even with that, I already have another book swirling in my head.
Wow.
And so you really do work with authors. Melissa is so much more than like, let me help you get this book out there. She is truly a midwife that's going to walk you through this process so that when it's time to give birth again to your next book, you know what to do and you have the skills and the tools.
Yeah. And that's the thing, having a solid framework, understanding that anointing on your life, that core message that you are called to express. You're a unique expression of God's heart for his people. So understanding what that message is, knowing who your audience is, knowing how to reach that audience, because as you said, you're not writing your book for friends and family. You're writing it for the person who's hurting, who's suffering, who needs that hope and revelation. So knowing how to connect with them, these are all absolutely crucial things when you set out to be a light in the world, to say yes to your call to write. And, you know, Ginia, you're not just doing that, you're also working full time and raising a young family. So, you know, life is full. So we want to make sure that when we step out, we are doing it with impact. We're making a difference. Otherwise, we're just wasting our time.
Yeah.
So just a couple of things for our listeners. If you are listening to us this morning, we are currently doing another anthology. Paper Crowns Volume 3 is going to publish in October. So if you are interested, get in touch now. We want to get those chapters written by the end of April. We can give you a bit of time to catch up. We are already several authors into this next project, so there's a couple of spots available for anybody who is interested. We really help you build your platform, build your author website, create the funnels, create the access to the YouVersion plan, connecting all the dots so you can grow your audience and you can connect with the people who really need your message. So if that's you, you can either drop a comment, and I will also pop a link in the comments so you can find out more. You can come and join us in the Answering the Call to Write Facebook group. There will be loads of information in there. And also, I am running another workshop. I think it's on the 22nd, the 20th or the 22nd of April. Again, I'll pop the link in so you have all the details. And the class is called Kingdom Impact Masterclass, and I'm going to unpack a lot more of the stuff that we've been sharing. You know, how do I find out what is this call on my life, this message that I'm carrying? How do I connect with the readers who need that message? How do I bring my message and make an impact in the world? So there are so many ways that we can help you get your message into the world. I truly believe that if you are here listening to us talk this morning, that there is a call of God on your life to be a light in the world. You know, the places where you have suffered, the places where you have overcome, those are the areas where you are anointed to shine your light so someone else can find their way out of the pit, out of that place of darkness, stepping into freedom, stepping into everything that the Father has for them.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm so excited to connect with you and to hear more about your story as well. So do get in touch with us. We would love to hear more about your story too. Ginia, is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah. I had to think about that. I mean, there's so much. I'm like, where do I start? And how do I make it bite-sized? But what you just said, Melissa, is powerful. So I'll just echo that. If you are watching this morning, you do have a story that's worth sharing. And I'll say this personally, when I'm going through trials and tribulations, my first reaction, if you will, is to find someone with a story. Is there anyone else in the world who has experienced this, who has walked through this, who has found a way out of this, or maybe a way through this challenge that I'm facing? I go and I look for a book and I dive into that book. And I'm looking for hope. And sometimes, if we're being honest, the Bible is not the first book. Maybe I'm angry with God or disappointed. I'm looking for a fellow sister or brother in Christ who has walked this journey, who can help point me back to Christ. And so I love what you said. You know, God really does give us beauty for ashes. And all of these books that I have published and worked with you on with Melissa have come out of hard places, have come out of places that were lifeless, that looked hopeless. They were really difficult places. And I never, and imagine in a million years, could imagine that I would have a book about it, that I'll be able to talk about it, that I'll be on the other side of healing. And so, yes, if that is you this morning, reach out to Melissa, even if you are shaking, if you are afraid, if you feel insecure, if you're like, I don't have the skills and I don't have the tools. That's why we have a writing coach.
Yes.
We have the message and we partner with our coach to bring about our stories.
And it's such a beautiful thing when you get that message from someone who says, thank you. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for sharing your story. I really needed it. And you're right. I have heard from so many people who have felt disillusioned or they're disappointed with God and they're struggling to find that place of connection with Him. And we are the people who can take them by the hand and help them, bring them back to the hand of their Father, to the heart of their Father, who loves them so much and who has everything that they need. So thank you so much, Ginia, for being here with me. I know it's an early start for you. And thank you to everyone who's listening. I'm going to pop the links from Ginia's chapters. Her books will be in the comments. You will find out more about the Facebook group in there. All of the things, how to connect with us at Paperground Media. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know about the message that's on your heart to share with the world. And I just want to remind everybody that Jesus said, you are the light of the world. And at Paper Crown Media, we would love to help you shine. Right. Have a great morning, Friday morning, weekend, whenever you're listening. See you soon.
Bye. See ya.